if anyone wanted to come to Southern California and be instructed as to what to do and where to go and what to do, they came to see Jaeger. Jaeger prized finding out secrets in nature. Mm. And his father used to go for walks out in the prairie. This is land that is virgin land, you see what I mean? We'd go out through there, and that's where he got this love for nature.
And he learned in the field. He learned.
Jaeger called that dirt time.
Yeah, dirt time, yeah.
I'll quote him again. He said, "For the last 40 years, I have spent the Christmas, New Year's holiday in the desert or the mountains with a friend or two. And when society comes back to normal, I will return home."
He believed that life should be lived, and he had a prescribed set of values and expectations. He was a real stickler for proper scientific names and the proper use of English.
When I used the word neotoma, he would correct me and say it's neotoma.
Funny.
And I said to him, all right, if you use neotoma for neotoma, then you must use potato for the potato. There are rules, of course, for pronunciation.
Of course, yes.
And he was a stickler for that. I don't think he ever corrected me again.
He was knowledgeable about environments, particularly in desert environments around the world. So he was a kind of a unique and interesting person with many interests, great fund of knowledge.
Jaeger and I had some good conversations. We had some good times together. You know about the palavers?
Yeah, he was a old man in those days. Earlier on, he certainly would participate in the nature walks and was quite knowledgeable about the wide range of the natural history of the desert, but there would be other experts there, herpetologists, botanists, geologists, entomologists, who would enlighten and elucidate the assembled individuals, many of whom were young biology students from La Sierra College and other colleges, but mostly La Sierra, as well as some of the kind of what became the old Jaegerites. I recall them being as, tremendous natural history field training experiences. And he would start when he rang the cowbell at 2 o'clock on Saturday, and there'd be a general meeting, just as there is now, when announcements would be made about the next palaver and relevant information, how many people were in attendance, and anyone who died in the interval, and then it would adjourn, and the nature walk would follow, and then people.
A lot of it was that Dr. Jaeger was held in high regard by a large number of the local naturalist types, and of course it was just sort of a major natural history activity. I think they met like twice a year, and there was a group that kind of grew up around that, and it was kind of a social group, a club type thing. I think they all. I mean, I was involved a little bit, but I was never an active participant. I went a few times. My sense is that it was just kind of a group of people. They knew each other. They looked forward to going out to these places. In particular, when Jaeger was alive, he was sort of the center of the whole thing, and a large part of the draw. People would come because they get together with Dr. Jaeger once or twice a year. Of course, Jaeger was at RCC for so long, and there were many people who went through there, went on to become scientists in their own right, and they knew Jaeger, and they would come back and on his behalf speak at one of those things. And so they constantly had fairly high level speakers And then they would have walks. That was always, I think that was always a feature, was they'd have local little hikes in the morning and, you know, like go out for a couple hours. And they would have various sub-leaders, like Oscar would often lead these little afternoon or morning or whatever, 2 or 3 hour walks around to look at the plants in the area. With Oscar leading, Oscar was always famous for you. He never got very far because he'd always find things to look at. So you'd go 10 feet and you'd talk about something for 10 minutes, and then you'd move another 12 feet. Something else would come into view. It was just kind of a group of people would go off walking along talking about things. They weren't organized like Sierra Club style hikes where we're going to go from point A to point B and we're going to do it in under 1.6 hours. It was just we'd wander off over the hills, see what they could find.